Why do smart, strong people stay in toxic relationships? That is a question that I get all of the time. And maybe you know somebody like that, because the truth of the matter is you can see it sometimes when they can't. They can see how smart they are, how strong they are, how toxic the relationship is. But if you ever mention it to them, they can't see it the way you do. Today we're going to talk about the slow poison that seeps into a relationship and can completely destroy it. Now, please, I want you to imagine someone that you care about very deeply. Your mother, your sister, a close colleague, a close friend, someone who you care deeply about, but who is disappearing before your eyes. I don't mean physically, but you can see that they're changing, and not in a good way. Maybe she's second-guessing herself all the time. Maybe she's walking on eggshells. Maybe she's afraid to speak up. And again, she doesn't see it. Today we're going to discuss exactly how that happens and how you can start to recognize it if it's happening to you. You would be surprised how many times I hear people say, "I'm not stupid. I'm not weak. I'm actually a strong person. How is it that I cannot leave this relationship? How is it that I keep going back to this relationship that I know is toxic, that I know is not good for me?" The answer? Trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is a psychological response to intermittent reinforcement, meaning that your relationship swings between affection from your partner, then abuse, then charm, and cruelty, and everything in between, and you can never predict what's coming. Your brain actually starts to expect and almost become addicted to this cycle of the ups, the downs, the ebbs, and the flows, and you are constantly walking on eggshells. Think of it like a slot machine. When you pull the lever, you never actually know what you're going to get. It's the same thing with your partner. You don't know which version of them is showing up. Is it the one who's going to be loving and kind and bombard you with gifts and shower you with affection and tell you how wonderful you are? Or is it the person who's going to gaslight you and tell you how terrible you are and how everything that's going on is your fault and they take no responsibility? Not knowing who it is that you're dealing with can be so emotionally overwhelming. And the truth is, in these toxic relationships, that win of the person who is being kind to you and showing you how much they love and appreciate you, that is very rare. It becomes more and more rare as the relationship goes on. However, knowing that that good part of them can come out, that's what keeps you hooked. That's what keeps you staying. That's what they call that frog in boiling water phenomenon. When you put a frog in lukewarm water, it's comfortable. If you turned up the heat right away, it would jump out to save itself. But if you turn it up just a little bit every single day, and it continues to get warmer and warmer, the frog dies. Scientifically, I don't know if that's really true. However, psychologically, for people, especially women who are stuck in a trauma bond, it is very real. Because these relationships don't start out toxic. They actually start out very lovingly, very supportive, almost perfect. But then they change and they shift in subtle yet very distinct ways. The person is no longer showering you with affection. The person is no longer saying kind things to you. The person is no longer centering you in their world in a way that is loving or meaningful. And then slowly, you almost forget who you are. You are seeking the validation and that loving approval from this person who used to give it to you, who used to make you feel wonderful, and now is making you feel like you are crazy, like you don't know what's going on, like maybe you're the one who is wrong. I have seen this pattern hundreds of times with women who say, "Our relationship started here, and this is how I felt. It was very give and take. I supported him. He supported me. It was very much a loving, supportive relationship where I felt valued. He cared about my thoughts. He cared about my friends. He cared about my family. He cared about my connections to the outside world. All of it." And then something changed. I have seen this pattern hundreds of times, whether it's with my clients or colleagues or even friends. It starts out so supportive, so loving, and then over time it deteriorates. Every situation is different, except they're almost exactly the same, because you really do start out in a place of strength and support, and it goes down to a place where you don't even know who you are anymore. And please know, this is not about intelligence. This isn't about, oh my goodness, I should have known better. This is about conditioning. You have been conditioned to accept this situation. And part of that conditioning is your body knows before your mind does. Let's talk about that. This is something that most people do not talk about. Your body knows instinctively before your mind does. When you walk into a situation and you tense up and you get frightened and you freeze and you start to sweat and you start to have an anxiety attack, that is your body's way of telling you, before your mind can catch up, something is wrong. This is not the situation you should be in. Research actually shows that people who are in toxic relationships experience chronic stress responses. So we're talking about fatigue maybe that will not go away, stomach issues, insomnia, headaches, even autoimmune diseases. This can all be traced back to your body trying to defend itself against these outside forces that are coming at you. And why is that? Because your nervous system is on high alert all the time. Like I said, you never know which version of the person you're going to get. And when your mind is going in a million different directions, your body is now trying desperately to protect you. You are not just emotionally exhausted, you are physiologically breaking down. One major study showed that people who are in toxic relationships and are victims of this toxic partner actually seek medical help 40% more than people who are not. And I'm not talking about physical abuse. I'm talking about the physiological responses that your body has to this constant stress. That's not a coincidence. That is your body's way of screaming for help. So if you've been to every specialist and they still haven't found anything medically wrong with you, but you're still feeling sick and anxious and always tired, you should really start considering the root cause. It's not your body failing you, it's your body trying to protect you. And what is it protecting you from? The relationship that is poisoning you. And I know how hard that is to hear sometimes. All of this time and all of this energy and all of this effort that you have put into this relationship, you have devoted your everything to this person. And yet, when you take a step back and you can really see it for what it is and how toxic and hurtful it is, I hope that you will find the strength to value yourself over that relationship. And as hard as that is, you have to be real with yourself. Am I going to be in this relationship for the long haul? Can my body, can my mind, can my emotional state take this forever? And the big question, should you? You deserve better. So let's talk about the questions that reveal everything if you think you might be in a toxic relationship. Let's pause and be very real here. I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions, and then I want you to sit back, take a deep breath, and answer them very honestly. When was the last time you felt genuinely happy at home with your partner? Not that you had a good time, not that everything was okay. When did you feel truly happy with your partner? Question 2, do you ever feel like you have to hide parts of yourself in order to keep the peace at home? Are you not able to be your true self? Are you not able to express certain things? The silly side of you, the serious side of you, the very pensive and thoughtful side of you? Are there things that you cannot talk to your partner about? And thirdly, do you feel safe expressing your needs without any backlash from your partner? Do you feel comfortable saying what it is that your boundaries are, what it is that you need, what it is that you want, how it is that you want to have this relationship progress? Do you feel truly safe and comfortable having that conversation? Now, none of those questions are intended to shame or scare you. What they're intended to do is to give you a little bit of insight into your own psyche, into your own way of thinking. Wow, maybe I really have not been happy for a long time, or I do not feel comfortable, or maybe you do. But really what this is a self-reflection exercise, a way for you to start looking inward and thinking about what works best for you and what is not working for you. And it's really designed to be a reality check, a simple framework based on abuse research and trauma psychology. But here's the truth. Every relationship has conflict. Not everybody gets along all the time. Some relationships are even high conflict, but that does not mean that they're toxic. There is no relationship that should make you feel small, insignificant, afraid, insecure, and like you cannot be yourself. So if you heard those 3 questions and you started answering them in your head and they started to make you feel uncomfortable, or you felt like you were getting a knot in your stomach, or you felt like you were identifying with it in a way that you didn't realize, please, I beg of you, do not ignore that. I'm not suggesting that you run out now and leave your partner. What I'm suggesting is that you sit with these 3 questions, answer them honestly, and see how you feel after you've answered them 100% honestly. Next week, we're going to talk about what to do if you're still figuring things out, if some of the answers to these questions really are not sitting right with you, because you don't have to make this huge move overnight. But you do deserve the tools and the techniques and the support to protect your mental and emotional safety in the meantime. Next week, I'm going to share with you strategies and some techniques that mental health professionals recommend. These techniques that can really help you stay emotionally safe while you plan the next steps, because you don't have to leave just yet. But you absolutely need to start protecting your peace now so that you can set yourself up for success down the road. Small steps will equal big gains. If you found any of this information helpful, please like and subscribe and share this with anyone else who might be stuck in a trauma bond relationship. It might just be the wake-up call that they need. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us again today on Divorce Den. We look forward to seeing you next week. And please, stay safe. Take care of yourself.